CBC back for more. This article is going to be on more Canadians, more young Canadians specifically, are tapping AI for learning even when concerned about it. So, guys, if you haven't seen me before, my name is Alex. Trying to up the production quality for y'all. My name is Alex. I run an AI agency in Toronto. We cover all sorts of stuff when it comes to AI automations, workflows, operational overhauls for businesses and organizations, as well as even visibility through AI assistance through a combination of GEO and SEO strategy. But we also like to talk about how AI is being portrayed in the news because it really affects adoption. And I got to tell you, for the last 3 years, the news has been doing absolutely everything in its power to trash AI, specifically in Canada. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is adopting it at warp speed and increasing their productivity, uh, you know, at scale. Meanwhile, Canadians are looking at our poor real estate economy shrivel into oblivion while young people across the board are having problems getting work and generally having a slowdown in productivity. So, young people can't get work. Our only economy, real estate, is collapsing, and we're in fear of AI. Great. Let's do better, guys. Let's use our heads a little bit more. Let's try and use AI to maybe solve some of these issues. So, let's get into it. More young Canadians are tapping AI for learning, even when concerned about it. Educators must guide students to supplement, not circumvent their learning, says Prof. And I'm going to start this off. Like I've already been rambling for what, 2 minutes? I've learned more in the last 3 years as a 37-year-old man now, from the ages of 34 to 37. I've learned more than my entire life prior to the era of AI. Like my technical capability has skyrocketed. My general knowledge about the world has exploded because I've been like, what do you want to learn about, Alex? Go talk to an AI assistant. They'll teach all about it. So I'm looking at AI as the single best teacher and teaching method that I've ever experienced in my life. It has taught me to think like it has taught me to think like a machine. It really has. And it's allowed me to be productive enough where I could go hire Canadians to do work for Canadian businesses, create value. So I haven't read the article yet. We're going to go through that together here. But I just want to say before we get into it, I have to thank the human beings that have developed this technology, Canadians. I don't. We're a little ways off now in terms of Canadians being in the race competitively for AI, but AI was born in Canada. I want to thank them for allowing humanity to experience this technology because I'm learning more now than I could ever dream of. So that's my stance on AI and education. But let's get into what CBC says. Studying for a recent computer science midterm, Elaine Zhao just couldn't wrap her head around certain concepts. So she popped open ChatGPT for a quick explanation. Very harmless, maybe harmful, who knows. It was a fast, accessible solution to that mid-study session hurdle, Zhao says, instead of searching multiple articles for an answer. It really talks to you in a way that's easy to understand, said the Canadian student who's in her first year at Duke University in Durham. Generative AI tools easily get information to help you study better, work better, she said. AI can really be a tool that's there for us. Guys, this is the softest. I mean, I love it. She's saying AI is good. Like anyone who says AI good, Alex like you. AI good, Alex like you. But come on, like one student, one Canadian student, one university, like this is pathetic, guys. We need to do better here. We should be talking about how much the average adult is learning in a couple hours from conversations from ChatGPT. Not one university student who's in the midst of her learning curve in academically. I honestly bet you whoever Elaine, she probably has 4 to 5 terminals open at any given moment now doing her assignments. More Canadian post-secondary students are turning to AI for school, and they're eager for additional opportunities learning how to use it. Great. Like to see that. Like to see young Canadians looking at AI and going, "Holy shit. This technology is more powerful than anything in humanity." Great. I'm glad I'm young. I can live a life where I can have it more. Nearly three-quarters of young adults who responded to the recent KPMG Canada survey said that they use Gen AI for their work, up from 59% last year. So we're talking about 75% of post-secondary students. So like literally three-quarters of young people in university are using AI in Canada. Canadians, three-quarters of young Canadians in university are using AI, and at the same time, businesses in Canada are the slowest adopters in the world. If this is not a complete disconnection from reality for the current decision making landscape in Canada, I don't know what to say. The young people here coming up with AI, I hope they replace all of us. I really hope they do. So, up from 59% last year, yet students are still worried about cheating and impact to their critical thinking, with some experts saying more clarity and support from instructors and institutions needed. No, no, no. We want less from instructors and institutions. These things are biased. They become biased, especially instructors. I've had situations in university where I was literally being failed on a midterm or a final because the instructor had their own interpretation of semantics in my answer versus what they thought was correct. And these are human beings, so they make mistakes. And I had to fight tooth and nail with two different professors to go from failing me to giving me a literal A. Another guy had to give me an A plus because they couldn't stand or understand. They probably couldn't stand it either. They couldn't understand how I was semantically putting together an argument. It went right over their head. I had to sit down and break it down for them. And let's just say those instructors lost a lot of respect from me. That's why for me, school and like university and stuff like that, if you're really serious about your life, you're gonna take the money you would have spent going to university and you're gonna start a business and just spend countless hours learning about what you need to do to make that business work with AI assistance. I guarantee you will be more successful than the kids coming out of university today with a 4 or 5 year degree with no jobs prospects or experience. 100%. I 100% agree. If all kids stopped going to university today and instead pursued education through large language models, we'd be better off. It's far more practical, cost efficient, and it breaks us out of this economy that relies so heavily on like expensive tuitions and like crippling debt for the rest of your life. Like it's pathetic, guys. We got to change. Got to do better. Help to overcome the barriers. With her school and profs explicit about when and how students can use AI, Zhao feels comfortable turning to it as a springboard for thinking. Oh, that's nice, Elaine. When recently tasked to create engaging classroom activities based on assigned readings, she used AI to brainstorm. It generated generic suggestions, Zhao acknowledged, but gave her a skeleton to build upon, and she crafted something directly related to and specific for her class. So, this is a budding AI operator seeing the limitations on a single inference, starting to synthesize inferences to come up with higher order ideas that overlap contextual relevance of certain things in whatever topic of conversation she's going for. You will get better. The more you prompt, the better you'll get, the more critical thinking that you'll adopt. I promise. I 100% will put my life on it that the more you use AI, the better you'll get and the more you'll know. It's bottom line. It can be really helpful by helping me overcome the barriers along the way. Zhao said, "This is like I if I have to read any more, like I mean, I'm gonna do it more because you guys like this content for whatever reason. You like the stuff from CIBC or you like watching me bash it, but it's weak stuff, bro. It's weak sauce. I would say it's a weak sauce, bro. We got to do better. Not having it do the work for me so that I still learn, but just at a faster rate than before." Okay, so she's recognized it. Like I mean, obviously you're gonna have AI do work for you as well, Elaine, like, let's get really, really serious. Your essay was probably constructed, the outline at least, with AI. And if I had AI in university, I would have a 5.0 GPA, or they would just expel me for just being extremely ruthless using AI tools. Like either one would be the case. But regardless of what happens, I'm getting work after the fact. I'm getting work with my experience with artificial intelligence and understanding how prompting works. And like I can, if you sat your kid down for 4 years in front of an AI terminal, they're going to be far more effective than sitting them in a class with instructors who don't give a shit about them. I can tell you that right now. Most of the young adults who responded to KPMG's Canada survey, now in their third year, reported that the technology has led to better grades and improved their work. It's a good thing I just read these articles blind, because had I known this was coming, I would have been a lot meaner at the beginning of this video. Still, 57% of them worry they're cheating when they're using AI, while 66% they're believing they're learning less. If you're in this group, guys, I can tell you, get out of school ASAP. Just figure it out, get your degrees 4.0. No one cares about degrees. That's the thing. Like, all these kids are like, "Oh my god, it's helping me learn better and get better grades." Congrats. No one cares. No one cares about your degree. You want to How I know this? I'm a hiring manager, or a person who hires. And I just did an interview the other day with a developer. He's like, and I'm just like, "What have you done? What have you built? Show me your chops." And he's like, "Well, I don't have my resume prepared." I told him, "I don't give a shit about your resume or what you think you can put onto a piece of paper. I can have AI probably write your resume better than you. What have you done? What have you built? Can things you do work on their own? Have you created value?" That's what I want to know as someone hiring. So if you're a young person, take it from a guy who's hiring. No one cares about your degree. They want to know what you've done, your results. And the hard part is you can't get results without getting a first job experience. I know all that. It's very hard. Some of the jobs I got in my working career, when I was getting paid salary and stuff like that, I had to lie to get the job, so I can get this first bit of experience, the leverage for the next job. Do whatever you got to do to survive. You have to survive, right? Well, you tell a little lie to get a job where you can get paid. I remember trying to get jobs in sales, and they're asking me, "Well, how much have you sold?" Like, "Oh, well, I was doing sales here and there and there." And it's like, "Okay, great. Yeah, we have sales experience from you." None. But I got into the position where then I can gain experience, and then my follow-on conversations about sales were absolutely amazing. So you just have to get that first little jump in the workplace, and it generally starts with someone giving you a chance or rolling the dice. You take that chance, you run with it, you make it your everything. Let's see, back to students complaining that they're cheating. Oh no. That disconnect suggests institutions need to give students more clarity on how to use AI ethically. If I hear any more people talking about this conversation sucks, guys. It's keeping us, we're so slow. Americans are not even considering regulation. They opt to divert investments away from states that are regulating AI. That's their position, guys. Let's think about how we embed this in our day to day activities, because these students are using it on a very frequent basis. Of course, they are, because it's better than the academic institutions that are testing them. Like, there's some times when I have to learn about something technical or a new coding language or something. I'll ask ChatGPT to build me a shotgun lesson so I can quickly learn what I need to learn in order to put together a new automation, new workflow, new payload, whatever. Build me the lesson now. I need to learn it now, instead of, spend 10 weeks in this trash lecture where you can barely pay attention and your prof is looking at every single opportunity to make your life difficult. University sucks. Get experience, get money. Use that money to get more experience, do work, people will pay you more. That's the formula. Your education doesn't mean shit. A new section of the survey looked at young people's beliefs and behavior around AI. For example, most respondents worried about finding work if AI eliminates entry level jobs, while more than half said they trusted AI over humans at times. There you go. Those are people looking for. If you're in that group, you got a you got a runway towards working in the viper's nest here at Peak Demand. That indicates there's much more to explore in supporting students, Clayton said. I hope we see a complete academic overhaul where a lot of these academics, they're just like, we just replace them with chatbots. I know I got a few professors back in the day that would have been far better off if they were simply a chatbot on my computer screen. We need to dig deeper and really understand how young people are interacting with it, why they're using it, and what they think they're getting from the AI tool that they're not necessarily getting from a human to human connection. I can tell you they're getting a lot. They're getting a shitload. They're not waiting for office hours for a prof or a teacher's assistant. They're just opening up their phone and typing in ChatGPT, give me the answer right now. It's better. AI assistants are better teachers. Period. You're talking to a guy who's had both. I've learned more in a shorter amount of time from artificial intelligence than I've learned from all the humans I've ever spoken to. Let me see. Calls to rethink assessment. Having encountered professors very strict on AI, banning grammar correctors or spell checkers, for instance, Jasmine Kennedy largely avoids it. It's not worth the risk, says the fourth-year English major at Simon. Uh, I guess you're still in school, so you still think, oh, well, my degree matters, and if I get in trouble, it's going to be real bad for my career. No, it's not. No one cares. Yet she knows students who, for instance, have no qualms about pasting an essay's assignment instructions and making a rubric marking rubric straight into ChatGPT and submitting its response. Then there are even AI tools that make chatbot generated text read more naturally. Wow, this is how far. Like, so if let's just say I were to write an essay for a school, this is going to be a little bit of a cheat sheet for those who are still in school. If I were to write an essay or given a task to write an essay, yes, take the marking rubric, take the essay instructions, everything contextually relevant to what you've been given as the assignment, trauma dump it into ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, I need to construct an essay that can not only get past AI detection tools, but also any sort of objective or subjective bias towards AI that my academic institution or teachers looking at this might consider. So this is my plan. I want us to first come out with an outline for the essay. Come up with an outline, and then I want to surgically go through each section of that essay to make sure that it not only sounds natural, but even going as far as including semantic errors that don't, take away from the integrity of the argument, but coming up with semantic errors to demonstrate in as natural a way as possible that this was written by a human. Can you put that together for me, AI? Teachers have no chance because as soon as you learn how to prompt and speak to AI assistants, you can dance circles around anyone that needs content from you. And that's what we do here at Peak to Map. With text so easy to use, so much pressure on students today to get good grades. Kennedy, and no, guys, again, you put this pressure on yourself. No one cares in the organizations or institutions that care about your grades. They want to work you to the bone. No, if I see two people come into our meeting room for an interview, and one of them had a 2.7 GPA, but they said they worked all these internships, they were working, extra jobs to pay for their university, and they just really hustled and grinded and all sorts of shit to survive. And then you had another kid come into the same room. He's got a 4.0 GPA. All he did was school study, school study. I'm not taking that guy. I'm taking the other guy or girl who had to scrape together resources to win in life, not just get good grades. No one gives a shit about good grades. People give a shit about results. The tests happen in live production. That's the real test. Can you do it live? So really, we got it. And I feel bad for young people because no one's telling you this. I'm going to be the guy to tell you. I'm going to be the guy to tell you. I've had in I think it was my final a few years, I had one semester where I got a 4.0 because I was really dialed in. I wanted to prove to everyone I wasn't a dummy. Got a 4.0. As soon as I got it, and I was like in that group of like, oh yeah, we're all the students doing well and stuff like that. I was like, these are losers. They spend day in and day out trying to satisfy a primitive academic structure that is going the way of the dinosaur. Like getting good grades in school means you're lining yourself up to be a teacher. Teachers, God bless them. The most important teachers we're going to have are going to be teaching the kids, like children, babies, like having that first step towards human interaction day to day being in a workplace, those are the most valuable teachers. Academics and professors, guys who would give you a lesson through a video. Like I remember video lectures were coming out when I was in university, where you didn't even see the prof in the class. He was on a video screen and then talking to you while you're sitting with a bunch of other boo boos, 300 people in an atrium looking at a guy on a screen. I can do that at home on YouTube. Use more AI, guys. A lot of teachers at the moment are trying to get better at catching students when maybe a better way of approaching the situation is to taking it from a different angle, said Kennedy. University of Calgary professor Sarah Elaine Eaton agrees, pointing out that today's students starting post-secondary have already been around ChatGPT for years during high school, so doing the same thing we've done won't work anymore, said Eden, whose research focuses on academic ethics in higher education. We're going to see that person go to the wayside, unfortunately. Students are indeed using and misusing AI, she said, but it's up to educators to understand the tech and guide students to supplement and not circumvent their learning. From practical standpoint, that might mean setting clear rules on when it's allowed, emphasizing progress over perfection, or perhaps regularly meeting with students one-on-one to gauge learning, she said. Uh, yeah. So, I mean, we'll do a little bit more. I'll give justice to this article. Jesus. Teachers of large classes with hundreds of students might even create personalized exams, for example, which would prevent students cribbing from a past one since each would be unique, she said. That's a good idea. Give students exams specific to their learning profile, and they're all being supported and generated by AI. Now you're thinking, teachers. Jesus. That would, of course, require an instructor to be well versed in using AI themselves. She acknowledged, but could offer a much more customized assessments of students and identify specific areas. See, now we're really thinking. This person's thinking. Use AI to construct testing measures specifically to that student, their grades, their performance, and engage how well they've improved, not whether or not they meet some arbitrary requirement of intellectualism that was subjectively oppressed upon them by haughty academics. No one cares, guys. Only those academics really care about your marks. As soon as you get into the workplace, people do not care. I've had 0 people ask me about my academic history in my entire career. No one cares. Make money, do work, be productive. That's what people care about. Eaton doesn't believe today's students to be less ethical or cheat more. Every generation of students has some cheaters, but it also has a lot of people that want to learn, want to do a good job, want to be successful. So I'll tell you, even if you think yourself you might be cheating when you're using AI, that's just your survival instinct kicking in. Like people will call it cheating sometimes. I'll call it you're surviving in a difficult conditions because young people, you guys have no jobs coming waiting for you outside of university. There's no jobs for you. So you need to learn how to use AI while you're in a place of comfort, and maybe you're in a place where your parents are paying your bills. Learn in university. Trust me. Learning and sometimes struggling with content in a more traditional way is okay for University of Waterloo student Katie Yu. She has sometimes used AI to summarize readings, take notes to help determine why an answer is way out of the ballpark, something she's also seen others do when stuck. But the second year chemical engineering student is wary about over relying on it. She vividly recalls a lab where a chatbot gave wrong answers convincingly and repeatedly about the density of a potato. Yes, of course, do not have AI agents engaging in complex or sophisticated computations if they haven't properly been trained or the model's not strong enough. Duh. Obviously, you wouldn't know that unless you use AI. Though you considers AI a resource for students, she's focused on building problem solving work ethic without it. She says because AI tools won't be always accessible, like during an exam or if her co-op supervisor suddenly pops by to query her work. Again, a human querying work, AI should be assessing work. I'm learning hard things and I want to understand them and be able to think for myself. When you get into the real world, KT, you are going to be abusing AI terminals. Trust me. So, I mean, this article is another piece from CBC. I'm really looking forward to the day when CBC actually says something good that AI is doing for students, for businesses. We're trying to make that our team. Like the projects we have in the pipe are going to be some great case studies for Canadians to look at and say, "Oh my God, like that guy was actually doing everything he said he was doing." Great. But if I had ChatGPT in university, I'd be an absolute demon. Like my university, University of Toronto, is lucky that I didn't have ChatGPT back when I was studying, because it would have been absolutely impossible for them to determine whether or not I was cheating or using AI, because we're at a point now where like, the humanization process of AI agents is essentially getting around an AI detector, but at the human conversational level. Like we're doing it all the time. So, anyways, this was an interesting one. I'm going to do one more today on another topic that is going to be a fun one. But if you like, this type of conversation, you like the sound of my voice, hit like and subscribe. Again, my name is Alex. I'm from Peak Demand AI agency in Toronto. We help businesses all the way from small to enterprise, municipalities, and transit systems with their AI adoption. You can tell, like for me, the conversation, especially around young people, I'm really passionate about it. I didn't have I had opportunities as a young person, but they weren't the right opportunities to put me in the right direction. A lot of the people who took those opportunities are in difficult places right now in their lives, and I feel like I'm sort of breaking away from the pack, so to speak, just because I went on a different path, a digital path. And with AI now, it's really helped. So if you want to see more about how I'm taking the team to the moon, so to speak, you can like and subscribe. But hey, on the flip side, if you think I'm an asshole, if you think that what I'm saying is mean, or like you don't like what I look like, my face or whatever, leave it in the comments. We love the engagement. I love the social signals that even bad comments, people hating on us, people saying I'm ugly or I smell. I love it all. Like we like it all. Some people on my team think I'm like doing rage bait or something like that. I just tell it how it is. Tell it straight. We want to know how this comes off to you guys. So leave in the comments your concerns or whatever. Really helps us with our visibility. Alrighty, I'm looking forward to the next one, CBC. Bye now.